Hello, my name is Ken Ballard Jr., and welcome to the Bible study section of the Next Steps pages. And we are so excited that you're here because you're saying, I want to begin to study the Bible for myself. And we're going to talk about some how-tos. We're going to give you some tools as well. But before we do that, we wanted to talk about why study the Bible. And have you ever had someone that would say, don't hang out with him or her, or hang out with him or her, and you do so, and you find out they're completely wrong? Like you hang out with this person that they told you to hang out with, and they're just not a nice person. Or you hang out with this other person that they told you was not a nice person, and come to find out that maybe they thought they were standoffish, but really they were shy. Or maybe they said they're conceited. Really when you find out the other person was jealous. And you get to know them, and they're completely different than what they said. See, here's the thing. Many of us can come to God with preconceived notions of what we think God is like. And sometimes those preconceived notions can be based on what other people said to us God is like, or how they taught us about how God is like. And so here's the beauty of the scriptures, is it gives you a chance to get to know God for yourself. See, here's the thing that you'll find is when Jesus came, he actually came to blow people's perspectives about who God is out of the water. Because believe it or not, back in Jesus' time, they had God wrong. And so here's what we want to encourage you to do, is if you really want to get to know God, start with Jesus. So what does that mean? It means in the Bible, you have two halves. You have the Old Testament and the New Testament. And then in the second half, you have what's called the four Gospels. So there's Matthew, there's Mark, there's Luke, there's John. So what I want to encourage you to do is start with John, because it really does. It gives us a great place, a great foundation in understanding who God is by understanding who Jesus is. The other thing is, I remember back in 1995, my wife at that time was my girlfriend, and she went on a missions trip to Panama. And while she was gone, she actually left me an envelope, and inside the envelope were miniature envelopes. And when you would pull it out, there'd be like a little note on it, and also there'd be a number on it. And so what happens is inside of each envelope was a puzzle piece. And so what would happen is I would attach a different puzzle piece each day. And the last puzzle piece was actually when she came back. Actually, here is that puzzle. That's right. I still have this today. This thing is 26 years old, but I still have it. Why? Because it means so much to me. It was my then girlfriend, but my wife's declaration of her love for me. And that's what the Bible is. It is God's declaration of his love for you. And then finally, one of the reasons why it's so important for us to spend time with God's word is because there are some processes that we have in our minds and our thought process that may not be healthy. And one of the things that the Bible will do is it will help us to find out what truth is, and then begin to take that truth, apply it to our lives, and apply it to our thought processes so that we can become healthier people. So it's vital that we do that. Could you imagine if you were the guy who came after Moses? Yes, we're talking about Moses. Like Moses, one of the greatest leaders of Israel's history. Imagine that you had to do that. Just imagine that you're following up a tremendous leader in front of you. Or we've done that before, where somebody has to give a speech and they go before us and they knock it out of the park. And then we're like, I gotta follow that. Well, there was this guy named Joshua, and he was the first leader to come after Moses. And you talk about battling insecurity and those kind of challenges. And so one of the first things that God says to him is, hey, Joshua, be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. And then he says, study and meditate on my word and do what it says. And then after that, he says again, be strong and courageous. So what is he saying? He's challenging Joshua's insecurity by saying, hey, spend time in my word, meditate on it. In other words, think about it, reflect on it, and then do what it says. And as a result of that, you will be strong and courageous. So the Bible helps us to change those thought processes in our lives that may not be the healthiest. Those habits in our lives that may not be the healthiest. So that's why we want to study it, learn from it, and most importantly, apply it. Well, again, thank you so much for allowing us to be on this journey with you. And we're so excited to see what God's going to do as he reveals his word and reveals himself to you through his word. Well, thank you and God bless you.